Shari, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how exciting is this for you? This must be a great day for you and your family.
It is. It's very exciting. Lifelong. This is like dream job.
So you've been in the fair business for quite a few years. You were with the Waukesha Fair, the County Fair Association. You've been at State Fair now for what, more than 5 years. So is this like climbing to the top of the pyramid if you're in the fair business?
It is. It's where you want to be. And that's something that was my goal, definitely, when I moved over to State Fair Park.
What's the most exciting part about now running this incredible, vibrant fair?
I think not that I didn't have a say in what we were doing, but just, having that top job, it's a big deal. It's exciting. We have such a great work culture, lots of great people that work there, and we're all just excited to be getting ready for the 2022 Wisconsin State Fair.
Awesome. So I know John was talking about you working at State Fair for quite a while and being with the County Fair Association and things like that, but you also grew up going to fairs, right? And actually being a part of them.
Yes, I showed dairy and swine. I just did dairy when I was at Wisconsin State Fair, but at the county fair, I had pigs and dairy heifers, as well as numerous other projects in cultural arts.
Are you still keeping up with that practice?
I am not. I'm too old to show, although I could do open class, just don't have time. But I'm fortunate that my dad still has our family farm, and one of my brothers is farming with him, so my kids have the opportunity to show pigs. They keep them over at
that's
his
awesome.
farm.
I love that you have a true connection to the state of Wisconsin, the area, right? This is in your backyard. I'm curious where you start. Like you get into a new position, new role. Like what are the first things you have to tackle as you get adjusted?
Well, I'm very fortunate. My position I was in previous to becoming the interim CEO was Chief Programs Officer. So I oversaw all the operations of the fair, which include entertainment, agriculture, our vendors, Spin City, our independent midway. So I'm already very well versed in kind of what we're doing and the projects that we've been taking on and kind of moving forward. So now it's really just kind of fine tuning that and then looking for all of our new projects that we're going to take on with infrastructure and making sure that I'm leading the organization in the right way.
Summerfest always says that attendance isn't the sole barometer of success, that they've kind of figured it out down there, and they really have, what number works and that the experience is still really good. So many people go to State Fair when it's rocking, like before the pandemic. How important is that attendance number to measuring success and how good of an experience it is?
I think that Summerfest is correct, that you don't always have to have the highest attendance. We want to make sure that all of our fairgoers are having a great experience. But I think that for us, we have the exhibitors that are showing their animals or their various art projects. We also have food entries, all of those contests. So I think that it's also about the exhibitors and making sure that the youth that are showing are learning as they're exhibiting. And then we're also educating the public on how important agriculture is to us and really our survival.
How do you keep that balance when you're moving forward? If you run a music festival like a Coachella or something like that, you can just tear everything down and start over again. But the State Fair has such a rich history. You mentioned the agricultural part of it. As you move forward, how do you kind of balance staying current and new, but also knowing it has such a strong heritage and people have such a strong connection to their childhood or sometime like that?
Well, I think those traditions that we've all come to love, maybe you have your picture by a specific area at the fair, or you make sure that you're always going to visit a certain vendor, or there's a certain agriculture show that you love to watch, especially like the horse shows and all of those exciting things, or there's bands that you like to listen to. We, of course, want to always incorporate all of those types of things. Or exploratory park. I know when I was a kid, it was the DNR park, which we still have DNRs now back, and they were with us in 2021 and a big part of the fair. That was one of my favorite areas too, because it was just something that was different and unique. And they have all the tanks set up and you can see the different fish. And they're there educating as well. And I think that the great thing about Wisconsin State Fairs, we are educating people while they're having fun. They don't even realize they're being educated. So it's all those great, important traditions. But then we also incorporate some new things that comes within the industry. And we have a great network. We have a wonderful conference that we attend year after year to find out what those new and exciting things are.
Oftentimes that can be food. So you can always get to somebody's heart with food. So usually somewhere around the end of July, early August, there's a press release that goes out highlighting all the different foods on a stick that'll be available at the Wisconsin State Fair. I would like to be involved in what happens before that press release goes out. So maybe Wisconsin's afternoon news sort of sampling, taste testing.
That's a great idea.
Right? There's got to be some day or maybe a period of time where you're trying out new food items to think what will work and maybe what will.
The State Fair test kitchen.
Grass
you want to be in there.
Oh, that is a good idea.
Is there a way? There's got to be a way.
Yeah, bring in some media maybe and have a test day.
No, just us. Yeah, just us.
You.
Yeah, whatever. It's just us.
Related to food also, I always wonder, like, so if you're in the work area, if you're in the lounge, the employee break room, is there a vending machine that has cream puffs and brownies and last year's Sporky winners? What's the break room like?
No, I'm sorry. We do not have that. Maybe that's something we need to implement.
So many great ideas. We're not even going to charge you for these ideas.
Come here more often.
All right. So you have a free afternoon. Are you doing the big slide or are you doing the Ferris wheel?
So I am going to have to go with the big wheel, Wonder Fair wheel.
The Wonder Fair wheel. That's a great name.
The reason I'm going to say that is because that was my pet project, one of them in 2017. I was in charge of bringing in the wheel, and I was there from the beginning to the end while it was still being built. We knew it was on a ship on its way over, like all those crazy things you probably don't think about. And it was kind of exciting to go through that whole process and bring that in.
So I don't want to be a downer, but I do want to ask you about the pandemic, because you guys found a way to survive and you found a way to thrive. And now we're hopefully on the other side of it. What was the toughest part? Because you were there before the pandemic and you were there through the pandemic. What was the toughest part about doing what you guys do during a pandemic?
I think that's kind of twofold, but as you know, I hope you remember, we did the Fair Food drive-through.
Yep.
And it was obviously smaller than what you would have had at the fair, but we found that to be more challenging than putting on a fair because it was something we had never done before. Yep. And we also had to convince vendors to come. I mean, they were not guaranteed the kind of money that they would normally make during the fair. And it was a lot for them to find staff. So it was very challenging to put on the Fair Food drive-through and the whole Fair Necessities program that we did in 2020. But it was very rewarding to see everybody out there. We didn't charge for the event. So we saw people come through and they were able to get some fun fair food and just something. I mean, none of us were doing anything at the time. Everybody was home. So it was really nice to see people out and enjoying.
I remember that. That was such a big deal because everyone was locked down and here was a glimmer of hope. State Fair gave people this moment where they could feel like, yeah, that's something fun. That's something we can go do, because you're right. Nobody was doing anything. Do you feel a sense of responsibility to, as a leader in the community, make sure that you help people and you reach out where you can? Because a lot of philanthropy also comes out of State Fair.
There is a lot of the groups that come and maybe have a stand. There's various FFA groups. This is kind of where they make their money. The Lions Corn Roast, this is where they make their money that they take back then to New Berlin and support various scholarships. So yes, we do want to support that and make sure that people are able to benefit from everything.
Do you have a favorite fair food?
Oh gosh, this is always such a tough question because there's so much food at the fair.
You're on a desert island. You can take one food from the fair. That's it. What are you taking?
Just one?
Yes, just one. You have to.
Okay, but I'm going to bring this up because it was new last year and it ended up being absolutely amazing. And I'm hoping everybody gets out to try it this year. The Wisconsin State Fair Park Foundation got this new shake shop up and running.
Ooh.
They had these chocolate shakes. I am not kidding you. They were fabulous. They were in the Wisconsin Products Pavilion. They worked with Prairie Farms.
I love the Products Pavilion.
Yeah, very.
All right. So we're going to take the shake to the island and we're going to try that when we broadcast live out there this summer. It's so good to have you here. Shari Black is the Executive Director and CEO of the Wisconsin State Fair. Congratulations. Thanks for being with us, Shari.
Thank you for having me.